May 2nd, 2002. We're going to talk a little bit about the Indianapolis. It'll just pick up in there, Earl. You don't have to get right over it.
Okay.
So we can just sit here and talk.
All right.
So you're in the water now. What do you first thing you remember?
Well, the first thing I remember was swimming like the devil to get away from the crazy thing, so that I've been told that you'd have an undertow to the thing.
Right.
And gosh, I had swum right along till curiosity got the best of me. I had to look back and see what was happening, and the thing was setting straight up and down on the water. It went down so fast, of course. The bow went down in a hurry, and the screws were tilted, still turned. And boy, one thing I can tell you, you don't know what being sick is until you swallow all that oil into the seawater.
Right.
We were sick, oh man. And of course you did, I wasn't too worried. I had a jacket, and I was a pretty good swimmer anyhow. But gosh, you just wondered how you was going to get out of that thing. And you don't get as afraid of, as scared as you think you will, because it happens so quick you don't have time.
Right.
And the first thing you know, things hit, and next thing you know, you're in the water within probably the best I know, 5 or 6 minutes. They said it took 12 minutes for it to go down. Of course, I know I was knocked out for a while there.
So most of the crew went down with the ship?
Well, they estimated 800 people got off.
Okay.
That's one estimate.
Out of about 1,300?
About 1,200, yeah. And, of course, there's a lot of those that got off were from all in the engine room and so forth, where they were extremely badly burned. And most of those people didn't live in the water, or didn't last in the water for a rather short time. It's a blessing when they didn't go. And, it was just a tragic thing. But the next morning we just knew that it wouldn't be long till they'd be looking for us, because we were supposed to fire at those targets towed by planes. And I thought, well, we can take a few hours of this. Well, of course, the first day you kept thinking, where are they at? But by the second day you were beginning to work, because we didn't have water or any food.
Did you have a life jacket?
Yeah, I had a life jacket. I had a good life jacket. It was still floating me when it picked us up. I mean, barely floating me. I was up, about here, but it was
K-Pock.
But a lot of them did. A lot of them gave out. Now, I think the reason mine lasted so long, where a lot of them didn't. We'd been hit by kamikazes. Not when I was on there, but I mean, when I went on, it was in repair. And I stood bow watch all the time. It was in dry dock, 12 noon to 12 to 4, 12 noon to 4 o'clock, and then 12 o'clock at night to 4. So I knew when they brought the new life jackets on, I knew where they were at, but they didn't take the old ones off, like they were supposed to, which might be a blessing again. But anyhow, when I did get back to my gun, I grabbed one of the new jackets. I don't know why, I just assumed it'd be better than the old ones, I guess.
You just kind of hang on to it when you were on deck all the time?
Well, no, you were supposed to wear a life belt, just rubber,
right.
inflatable belt. Well, they were so hot that we didn't wear them, and the officers didn't gripe about it because they felt the same way. They didn't wear theirs. But the jacket, no, they were hanging in all great big net affairs on the bulkhead or wall, whatever you want to call it, and just cut the strings on the net, and they fall out, or if you're quick enough, you're going to hook them, I suppose. I just grabbed one of them, and I just stuck my arm through one armhole and jumped off and then put it in the water. But now there was a guy, one of the what was it? Anyhow, another one of the sailors come and said, "Hey, can you swim?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Boy," he said, "I can't swim. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I have to get this off this water." But by this time, it was obvious that the ship was going down, because we listed, real bad already. And he said, "Will you stay with me?" And I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "We better just put your jacket on. You're not supposed to, because they think that when you jump in the water feet first, you're going to break your neck." But we slept untied till he got in the water. I held on his hand, and when we hit the water, our hands split and never did see him again. I guess maybe he didn't. I didn't really know who he was. I was a virtual stranger to all the sailors. The only ones I knew really was the Marines. I'd been there long enough to know that many of the sailors, and I didn't know who he was.
Did sailors and Marines mix much anyhow on ship?
Well, on the ship, yes. When you're ashore, no. It was a different thing when you're ashore. I don't know why, but the Navy and the Marines didn't get along. But on ship, we each had our duties. We had to do what we were told to do, of course, and so we had no problem with that.
So you hit the water, and you got your life jacket on. Then what happened?
Well, of course, like I said, it's pitch dark, and pretty rough seas. They had 20-foot seas. Of course, that oil and stuff was washed over, and you just kind of did the best you could to get along. We kind of began to float into groups, I guess. And finally, matter of fact, toward morning, I got on a life raft. Come by with 7 or 8 other guys on it, and it wasn't long till, and I better not go into that story. There wasn't long till we was asked to get off the life raft, I'll put it that way. And so then I got into a group that had a cork floater net, and the guys without jackets were in the middle of the floater net, and I had a jacket, and all of us had jackets that kind of tied a string off of one of our ties on the jacket onto the net so we wouldn't float away. And that's where I was when I picked up, well, not when I was picked up, after, every day, you just kind of bemoan because of no planes in sight, or if they were flying too high and flew over past. We even had some flares in the raft, and they flew those, bear pistol flares. They shot them off, and the planes were way too high to see them in the daytime. It was too bright anyhow, and it just kept going until, anyhow, the last day when they finally checked wind spot us in the water, and needless to say, even though we were pretty dead, we were able to get up and walk in the water almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the most exciting day of my life, I guess. In a way, of course, you figure you're going to get saved after 4 days. You find out you swim in the water, you're ready to get out. Obviously, we weren't, in very good shape. We were down to just a few people left, and they began dropping after he spotted us. It wasn't long till all kinds of rescue planes come over and dropped all their survival gear and stuff, and one of them dropped a string of cans of water out away from us about, I don't know, I suppose 50 to 100 yards. Of course, they didn't want to drop them right on us. I thought, well, shoot, I was strong enough. I believe I could swim out to that. So I did untie from the net then, but left my jacket on. Swam out there and just ready to grab the can of water, and I looked down. There was a shark that looked like he was 40 feet long. I'm sure he wasn't that big, but I never did get the water, but I got back pretty darn quick to the bunch. And on the way back, there was a rubber raft that a couple of guys had picked up that they dropped. And I got up in the rubber raft, and that's where I spent the rest of the evening, or afternoon and evening. So the last part wasn't too bad. But each day, when you saw your buddies get, some get what the sharks get them, and the sun would get them, and salt water. More than one guy, would drink the water and think he's drinking water from the ship. Matter of fact, one of my best buddies come to the third day after, I think it was, said early, he said, found the ship. He said, the scuttlebutt's still working, which is what they called the water fountain, And he said, he said, the water good and cold. I said, Bob, stay here. I said, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, I do. Come on. And I said, no, I'm not going. And he took off. I grabbed for his jacket, tried to keep him back, but he was gone, and never saw him again. He
just tried to dive down to it?
No, he did. But I didn't see him do it, but I mean, he was gone. I suppose immediately he dived down to it after he's out of my reach. And
were the sharks less of a problem if you were around the floater net?
I think we actually tracked him, because the first day we saw sharks. Why, we still had our energy then, and we kicked and splashed and yelled, and I think all I did was track sharks. But once they got there, they fed till they were full, and they'd kind of lay back and leave you alone for a while. And I mean, it wasn't a constant. It was constant fear that they were going to get you, but they weren't there constantly. But they were there every day after we saw them the first day, and they were enough to make your hair grow on your back. It is kind of rough.
And when you were out in the water, did you have enough uniform left to put something over your head?
Yeah, up until about the fourth day. Kept ripping it up, putting it over our face, and by that time, it was all gone. And it was, when I picked up, I didn't have a stitch of clothes on. Matter of fact, the first day when we was kicking at the sharks, several of us had our shoes on yet, and because we slept with our shoes on in case of attack or something. And as a rule, if we was on deck, you almost had to anyhow, of course. And began kicking the sharks. Everybody, hey, get those shoes off, boy. They hurt. He was kicking our buddies and stuff. And now in our group, everybody seemed to keep their mind well enough that they didn't get any fights. So in some of groups, that salt water distorts your mind to where you do crazy things. And Some of them got into fights. I guess they even threatened to stab one another. Thing, the guy next to him was a Jap, stabbed with knives they had, things like this. And it just, we're having played. Now in our group, it was just sort of a congenial bunch of people that got along pretty well. And I tell you what, there's a bunch of rough settlers got pretty religious before we got in the water. There's a lot of praying going on.
Make a believer out of it.
You betcha, you betcha. And, oh, I know it's hard to remember what all happened, but it wasn't any pleasant.
What'd they do for you when you got on the ship?
Well, that was a funny deal. After this, Peter Wren picks us up in the water in this little, I don't remember, it was a little smaller vessel boat, some kind of like a whaleboat or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. Took us up beside the ship, and they had a floater net, or just a net, cargo net over the side. And he said, anybody's able can climb up that net, you want to take you up in the litter basket. I said, shoot, I think I can do that. And I started up, and he said, well, let me take your jacket off. And I said, no, you're not taking my jacket off till I get on deck of that ship. Well, anyhow, I found out I couldn't do it, so I took the jacket off, and with the help of a couple of them, we got up there. And so this guy, the setter, was with me. He said, hey, so you can still walk. He said, there's the shower's right over here. He says, you go over and get some of that grease wash off in that shower. And next thing I knew, somebody was shaking me. Hey, Senator, wake up, you're wasting all our fresh water, gone to sleep, was on the floor. And then they took us down into the crew quarters. And everything was nice, clean, and white. When we started, it was black. When we got through, of course, everything was greasy. We were all greasy. And I felt stronger than a lot of them. And really, it didn't do much for me. Just let me lay there and rest. And next morning, they broke out a case of fresh oranges. Boy, you never taste anything that tastes good. They cut the orange in half, give you half an orange. And but you know, from that, after I ate those oranges, I can hardly remember the trip till we went to Samar. Of course, I think it was a day and a half trip or something. I can't remember going there. I remember when we got there, but I can't remember. I don't know if we slept all that time or just what. You know, it was I remember when we got to Samar, how they had these natives, women and men that worked there in the hospital, and one of the guys, young, slender-looking guy, and there was a old coconut palm, and I'd always seen pictures of those guys climbing the trees, you know, and getting the coconuts. I said, do you really climb the trees? Like, hey, sure. And he pulled off his shoes, and boy, he went up that tree just like a monkey pretty near. It was, you know, kind of an interesting thing. But when we got in that submarine rest camp, we really had it good. That was, of course, after we were smart for 2 or 3 days, they flew us to Guam, and then we were in the hospital there for a week or two, and then it took us to submarine rest camp, and lived a life right then.
Did they fly you home after that?
No. They put us on a escort aircraft carrier with a bunch of other people. And there's over 1,000 of us on the darn thing. There's over 1,000 of us on that darn ship with nothing to do.
Just got you bunked on the hangar deck?
No, the hangar deck, yeah. And of course, there wasn't 4 or 5 planes left on. Right. Before we left Guam, they gave each one of us $200 because we lost everything. We had no money, no possessions, anything except what they give us there: toothpaste, toothbrush, and a set or two of clothes. And the biggest card game you ever saw from Guam to San Francisco. At one time, I know I got ahead about $1,700. When I got home, I think I had about $100 left, or when I got to San Francisco. But it's just
good entertainment.
Yeah, well, we had nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do, you know. They did a few things. They tried to entertain you, but you know, when you got 1,000 guys there and nothing to do but kill time, of course, it got a little exciting one day. We got into pretty high seas, and there was an old Kaiser-built ship. You know, they weren't very sturdy, and bulkheads began cracking, began leaking water. Down there where we were at, they were in there welded on the bulkheads while we were sitting down there, and we were about ready to jump on. We had no life jackets, hands to depend on. But anyhow,
one sinking's enough.
One was enough, yeah. But you know, one thing I never understand, just before we got to Pearl Harbor, there were some deck guns and stuff left on it, and 2 or 3 planes, they had to push all them off into the ocean so they couldn't bring them back to the States. I never did understand that. Strange to me. Well, I know you know, it just seemed like a terrible waste. Matter of fact, a year ago this past summer, Discovery went over to Tinian where we'd unloaded the bombs, and they took 4 of not myself, but 4 of the survivors of the Indianapolis, what I should say. And they said that Donna was just loaded yet with World War II trucks and planes and stuff was just pushed off in the brush and left there. They never did try to salvage any of it. I can't understand it. But, I don't know. I'm glad it's over with. But yeah, we've had some good experiences since. I've met Tibbetts, part of the Enola Gay, and Fred O'Leary, the co-pilot of the boxcar which delivered the other bomb to Nagasaki, and Bob Robertson lives over at Decatur. He assembled the Fat Boy bomb. He's got some real stories to tell. The bomb didn't fit the case they sent for it, and they had the detonator was some kind of a really high explosive stuff. He said 10 times more explosive than TNT, and they had to shave that stuff off with a brass knife until it would fit in this case. I mean, I don't know exactly. I've seen pictures. He showed me pictures of it. But anyhow, he said 2 hours of that, and they were in air conditioning building doing this. He said they swept through the clothes. There's only 5 of them knew how to do the assemble the bomb. They had, and they wasn't any of those that could carry it on paper. They had all in their heads only. But anyhow, the tales he tells of that.
They're doing this on Tinian?
On Tinian, before they took the bomb. Well, a day later before they put the bomb on, or 2 days later, whichever it was, before they put the bomb on the plane, and to drop it. And these guys had to, well, I guess took a day or a half to shave that off because they had to be real careful to take minute amount, and then they couldn't move their feet once they started because if they stepped on that stuff, I guess it exploded. And they special broom, they sweep it up and take it outside and put it in a container and blow it up somehow. I don't know how they did that, but sometimes he told us worse than carrying the bomb over there, or worse swimming with the sharks, either one.
Be like a demolitions guy.
Yeah. Well, I think he really was. But,
So when you they bring you back to San Francisco and discharge you?
No, brought back to San Francisco and give us 30-day leave and sent us home. Put us on troop train and sent us to St. Louis. Well, I mean, depending on where you live, but I mean, the group I was with went to St. Louis, and then from there we took another train to we went to Champaign. And we were there 30 days, and then went to Camp June, North Carolina. We were down there for several months. I had been a real long time, so I didn't have quite enough points to get out. So I got into motor transport. They put me in I wasn't a sergeant, but they put me as a mail sergeant for the guys that go to Korea, and I hated that job with a passion. And I finally pulled enough strings to get into the motor transport pool, which was a pretty good deal. And even got to drive for Major General Marston for about 2 months before he got discharged. Didn't intend to, didn't want to really, but it turned out to be good duty.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have anybody drive for him that hadn't been overseas. And of course, I was in the motor transport pool, and his record driver had more points than the admiral did, the general did apparently, and he got discharged before the general did. And of course, he hung out in the same motor transport, what we all in the same room, when he wasn't actually driving. And one day the captain, aide to the general, came in. He said, "Riggins," he says, "General wants to see you." And boy, just being a PNC, I was kind of shook up about it. Went in and of course stood attention. And he said, "Oh, Riggins, sit down, take it easy." He said, "This is nothing. You're not in any trouble." And tried to make you relax. And he would offer me a cigar. And I can imagine our order of PNC a cigar. And he said, "I need a driver for a couple months." He said, "My driver's getting out of service." He said, "You're the only one left in the motor transport pool that's been overseas all." He said, "I'd like for you to drive." And I said, "If it's an order, sir, I'll do it." But otherwise, I said, "I think I'd be too nervous." "Oh," I said, "It won't be that bad." He talked to me about 15 minutes, and he never did make an order. Finally, I agreed to, and it really turned. I was pretty nervous at first.
Now, what was his name?
Marston, Major General Marston, and of course, it turned out to be a pretty good deal in the end. We got to see a lot of the East Coast. He looked for a place to retire, so we was all up and down the East Coast looking for a place suitable for him. And when we were off base, we get $5 a day subsistence. He always paid the motel and the food, so that was just $5 a day. When making $60 a month, well, $5 a day was pretty good.
Day's pay?
Yeah, you bet. So it was a good deal, and he was a nice guy. But I just had to stay until I had agreed to stay, and he said, "I'll be out within 2 months." He said, "If it's over 2 months, I'll release you this deal." But he said, "I don't want to change drivers again." He said, I'll be out within 2 months. It was just less than 2 months before he got out of a month and a half or something like that.
Then you got out right after that?
Yeah, well, within 2 or 3 weeks, anyhow. It takes them a while to get the processing done and all that kind of stuff.
Did any of the guys you knew ever go to the court martial?
Yeah. Show you a picture. Where is it? When do that picture? This guy. Let's see. This guy here, Guys McCoy. He was a corporal, and he'd been the captain's orderly a lot of the time. Well, I was a captain's orderly for a while, but I got out of the job because I couldn't. I hated it. I was too nervous. I mean, I was just a kid, and it bothered me. But anyhow, you have no doubt he was a brassy sort of. He's a nice guy, good friend, but he was a brassy guy. The guys didn't bother him, and so when they went, they took. He had, every general, of course, had to have an aide, or they were a captain, but I mean, they have to have an aide with them and a driver. So they took I don't remember who he took as the officer, Captain Haynes, I think, but then he took Guys McCoy and Guys Tessent. So it was a trumped up deal the whole way. Just, matter of fact, they asked McCoy, he said, they was telling about something that was going to, kind of help incriminate the captain. I don't know exactly what the word was anymore. And it wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And he said, now, McCoy says, I want you to say this and say that, which collaborated what he was saying, what the officer was saying. He said, no, sir. He says, you can court-martial me too if you want to. But he said, that isn't the way it happened. I won't say it. I refuse to say it. And they didn't use his testimony and all that after he told it.
Did he tell him that in open court?
Yeah, well, the prosecuting judge, whoever, attorney, whatever it was. Of course, Admiral King, set the court. He named all the, well, they don't call it jury, whatever it is on military torture and everything. So everything was in his favor.
Need somebody to blame.
We finally got him exonerated here, a year ago, I guess. Thanks to, well, with a lot of help, at least, my 12-year-old boy. This Hunter Scott from Florida started this thing out as
the school project.
Yeah, school project. And it was an essay contest of some kind. And he won the school's essay, so they sent him to the city or state, I forget which was the contest. He won that. And then he won the national contest. Now this kid can get up, he can get up in front of the Congress, he can get up in front of anybody that makes speech. He made a speech to the Congress. And of course he's a 17-year-old boy now, but 18, but he'll be president of the United States someday. He is one sharp young man. I just wish I had the calm and cool and the brains that he's got. This,
tough getting up in front of a crowd at any age.
Well, yeah, at 12 years old he was talking to the president. Now, and to Congress and things like this. And every year after that for several years. Senator Smith, who was the guy that really pulled this thing off completely to get the thing done.
Now, where's he from?
Maryland.
Is that McVeigh's home state?
No, I don't. McVeigh was Virginia, wasn't it, I think.
I don't remember.
I forget. I've got all that stuff's on video.
Yeah.
But like I say, since I've had a stroke, my memory, I just don't remember that stuff. It's all gone.
I think we've done pretty well over here.
Anyhow, he was a great captain. I mean, he was strictly GI. I mean, there was no goofing off. But now he'd go to bat for you too if you was in trouble, if you were right and done what you were supposed to do. And I think I don't think there was a guy on that ship who would want to see with me again if he had a chance. I sure didn't want to go see again. But,
right. It's a good recommendation, though.
Right. Yes. Matter of fact, in one of the documentaries, one of the guys they were interviewing, well, it's been probably 20 years ago now. They did about an hour interview of a bunch of us, and the truth of him in there said that if they had a chance, they'd go see with him again. So I can't everybody fucking say. He was a good captain. He knew what he was doing, and when he let that ship travel on straight course, he also knew that he was safe as he could be without. Of course, he requested an escort. They wouldn't give him an escort. He said there was no enemy action in that area and so forth. And of course, it turned out there was a ship been sunk just a week before.
Well, were you running at high speed when you went on the straight course?
When we went on straight course, we was only doing about 16 knots. So.
Do they have the watertight doors set?
No, never showed them on that ship.
That's a little.
Well, or I say
dangerous.
never, very seldom. It was so hot.
Yeah.
See, it was built in 1931, and there was no air conditioning, and there was nothing. It was just, that's the reason we were topside. The after stack went through our deck, or through our apartment, and guys, you was getting 120, 30 degrees down there. You know,
Oh, it'd be terrible.
Yeah. And that's the reason I could go see it. The first torpedo hit the aviation supply right in the bow of the ship, and just blew the whole bow away. Well, it traveled 16, 17 knots. You can see what happened.
Well, you had aviation gas up.
Oh yeah. As one matter of fact, I almost walked off in the ocean because of it. After I crawled underneath that turret, I was completely disoriented. You know, like I say, I had this big dot on my head, and everybody, there wasn't a soul around. So it happened at least, you know, some minutes ahead of it.
Right, to get the bow down.
Right, and I was disoriented. I knew where I was supposed to go, and I thought I was headed for the after part. Our marine compartment was back underneath the quarterdeck. You went there. We were supposed to go there and get a rifle and so forth, and they were attacked, and that's where I was headed for. And only I was going the wrong direction, and it pitched dark, and I just almost walked off into the ocean when I realized
the moon came out.
Off and on. Yeah.
Off and on,
yeah.
just cloudy.
Yeah, it was a cloudy night, but kind of like there was sun popping out once in a while, you know. And it just happened the moon popped out enough that you see, you know, the bow was gone. But I would guess there was, you know, the alphabet guess, but probably 40 feet of the bow was completely gone. But, you know, flat wide open, travel 17 knots, just a scoop of water. That's the reason it went down so quick. Right. They said 12 minutes all lasted.
Probably the watertight doors wouldn't have made any difference. The bulkheads had been so
I think the bulkheads would just give in. And even it, you know, if the seas had been calm, well, you just didn't have time. I mean, by the engines being knocked out and all your power gone, they didn't have time to, you know, to turn away from the currents of, you know, the waves and so forth. And I don't think there'd been any way to save it. It'd been broad daylight, and
if you couldn't reverse the steerage way, just fill it up.
Yeah. You had to get the thing stopped, and it was, like I say, it was still moving. Well, they said that when we were picked up, we were scattered 50 miles. Now, that tells you something, you know. In 12 minutes, I don't know how many miles you would travel at 16, 17 knots, plus the currents and so forth. You know, we fell off, jumped off, whatever, you know, at periodic times. I know when I went off, I was standing on the side of the main turret aft. That's how far over it had, you know, went capsized before that I got off of it. I didn't jump off the ship. I jumped off the turret. It was a long ways down.
Just sort of tried to lay over and corkscrew down.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's hard to remember what happened, but I know, you know, I don't think there's anybody that really panicked. You know, just didn't seem like. I guess it happened quick. It didn't, you know, first thing you knew, he was either on, you know, a dry ship or you knew he was going to be in the water one or the other. And the last thing I remember is when I went off, our lieutenant was kind of he wasn't very well liked, I'll put it that way. And he had to be on watch that night, and he had a crew on the Quad 40 on the fantail back there, and he was still holding his crew on that thing. It was listening so bad that there was no way that the gun would have fired. It was impossible. Well, you know, it was almost completely on its side. But he didn't survive. I don't know what happened to him. He didn't survive.
He's still in the turret.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. But I know our captain, I mean, I'm talking about the Marine captain. I didn't survive either, but now he was in the water 3 days before he died. So I wasn't in his group, but they said that he just, you know, he was swimming back and forth trying to help guys who were really in bad trouble. And he just wore himself completely out. You need every bit of energy. That's the real reason I think I made it. And I was pretty fair shape. I mean, I could still walk, not easily, but I could still walk. And, you know, I just tied myself on that net and all. I just float and kick my feet when the other guys kicked their feet. That's about all the energy I expended until I swam out to get that water.
It helps to be 18, too, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but there was a lot of 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds. My best friend, he's my best friend now, as far as shipmates are concerned, was only 17. And, gosh, you think right now you think he's 65, great big stout guy. We're going to this reunion together. He has to get his wife this winter. And, you know, I had to be, when we were picked up, he was picked up on the same ship. And we was in bunks pretty close together in the hospital. And shoot, the next day he was up and around and he smoked and he was smoking. Of course, I never smoked before. The Red Cross had put a pack of cigarettes and, I don't know, some gum and toothbrush and the various things like that on our bunks before we arrived. And everybody was smoking. Man, if it's that good, I'm going to try it. And I think I went through 3, and I thought, man, if it's got to be this bad, I don't know how they can. And I just give Dick, that's just, buddy, I give Dick cigarettes out here. Dick, you can have them. And I don't think it did me a favor. Maybe he would have quit if he hadn't got cigarettes. But he's still, he's really quit until after his wife passed away. Now, he was at our house just a week or 2 ago. And he didn't smoke in the house, but he come in a time or 2. He'd been outside, and I think he's back to smoking because he lost his wife and stress and that and so forth.
Well, I doubt if it'll kill you at 80.
No, yeah, he's 70. He's 76 now, so.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he'll make it.
Yeah.
Big, strong as he is. Boy, he's big. It's days gone by that in a lot of ways I wouldn't